Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. It's Wednesday, it's content day, and we're gonna get into some things here. Now, it's been a weekend. I had a very busy weekend. I was able to make that last video showcasing the lantern, the railroad lantern, Wabash lantern that I got from my late grandfather a week ago today. And you know, I'm going to let these dry up here. Yeah. Yeah. My little Peter Stokeby bullseye flake needs to breathe a little bit before I pack it and enjoy it. So with that being said, I'm going to continue talking while I get things ready. Anyways, weekend was very busy. It was a good weekend. We socialized with my in-laws, my wife's parents. They were in town from Tucson, and that was nice. We had a really nice time. Went to several spots for some good food. We went to a local place for Asian cuisine, Chinese, well, Cantonese, I believe. Actually, it was really tasty, and it's Michelin rated. It's right in Arcadia, and it's called Luscious. Was it Luscious Dumpling? Yeah, that's it. Very tasty, and I'll recommend that to anyone in the area. Go try it out. It's really good. It's on Duarte Road in Arcadia. Also, we went to Tale of the Pup, which is on the west side of Hollywood, in West Hollywood, on Santa Monica Boulevard. It's just down the street. It's further west from the Formosa Cafe. That's a really fun spot. Recently reopened and restored. It's fantastic. It's I recommend it. Now you will definitely spend more money there for a regular hot dog. Well, it's not a regular hot dog, but it is a hot dog. But it's really good. Very authentic to the era, I would say, and it's quite tasty. So you're not only getting something that's authentic, but something also quality. So that's important. We went we went to breakfast that morning on Saturday to Rod's Grill. Now, Rod's Grill, I'm going to give a shout out to them because I've been going there since I was a kid. They're in Arcadia as well on Route 66. That's right, they're on Huntington Boulevard, which is also it's an original section of Route 66. So they're just a spitting distance from the historic, iconic Arcadia Santa Anita racetrack. So if you're heading towards the racetrack, you're going to see Rod's off to the right-hand side. Definitely stop in if classic diner cuisine is your thing. Great place, mostly original inside. It's 1957 vintage, so it ticks all the boxes of a classic American diner coffee shop of the late 50s, and it's on 66, so you can't go wrong. They've struggled twice in their history. Once in the early 2000s when Intimate Domain was threatening their business, because there's a big dealership right next to him. It was a Ford dealership, but then Russ Knack bought the Ford dealership, and then they were wanting to expand across the entire street to the next block and demolish everything on that block, including the diner. So they fought hard and saved the diner, and then of course the pandemic came, and they really struggled with that, of course, as most restaurants did. Not everybody made it. And also the owner at the time, Manny, he passed on because of COVID complications. So yeah, the families suffered a lot. So if you're in the area, go support them. If you like a good cup of coffee and classic diner cuisine, it's a great place for breakfast. I'll definitely say that. They do a good job, and the service is friendly. So go check them out and give them your support. Okay, enough of that. We're going to pack this pipe here. And as you already seen by the title card, the thumbnail as they call them these days, I still call them title cards because, well, that is what it is. You're cruising through the old YouTubes and you're seeing suggested videos and you're like, oh, well, that looks interesting. Well, it's good to have an enticing title card, or thumbnail as they call it. So I've upped my game. I'm sure you've all noticed. It's not just a freeze frame of me doing what I do. It's actually got some... It's fancy now. We're stepping up the game. Anyhow, we're evolving and growing and maturing as a channel. And I'm really happy for that because I do continue to enjoy making these videos for everyone. for YouTube and being a beacon of information of tubular lanterns and most things antique. So with that being said, we're going to get this going. My historic, iconic 1939 World's Fair pipe. And this was a gift to me by my wonderful wife, Ashley. She bought this for my birthday on the worst birthday I've ever experienced, which was 2020. It was a rainy day, and everything was closed. We couldn't go out to dinner. There was a place locally that was doing takeout, so we went takeout, and it was, I liked the food there, but going 3 blocks home and eating it there was still not ideal. But you know, desperate times, desperate measures. And it's funny because I typically like a rainy day, but there were a lot of contributing factors to my birthday not being as ideal as I wanted it to be, besides just the pandemic. I mean, I couldn't see friends. I couldn't do anything I wanted to do to celebrate my birthday. But my wife did her absolute best to make it as comfortable and pleasant as possible, and I really do appreciate her for all her efforts. And she gave me this beautiful, beautiful pipe. And we're going to get it going here. Now that I've created an inversion layer in here. As I was saying about the title card, you already know what it's about. No big surprises there. But we are going to share the completed project of the Marswells. Yes, the Marswells, the hardware store lantern. Jobber, that is. Here it is. Isn't that scrumptious? I think it is. Oh my gosh, look at that. I mean, this is just... I'm really happy about this. Really happy. This is just beautiful. It's a special piece. Now, I wanted to read something about the Marswells Hardware Company. I dug up a little history on them so we can put some history towards the lantern. Now, I'm not very up on my hardware store company histories, so it's always good to investigate and learn something. So, the Marswells Company was founded in 1886 by George C. Greenwood, Edwin V. Murray, and Arthur B. Chapin of Duluth, Minnesota. Its industry was hardware, and its headquarters were in New York City. The Duluth branch consolidated with the Key Howe Thompson Company in 1958. Later that year, it was acquired by the Coast to Coast Company, thus ending the American company, Marswells or Marswells. So that's interesting. So in the late 50s, it was no more. So from 1886 all the way to the late 1950s, that's quite the run. Yeah, so Marswells, they consolidated the name for their brand name was Marswells. Okay, and I love that arrow. I love the arrow going through the name. That is just cool. You know, I was talking with shout out to Mr. Mark Stowers. I was talking with him about these lanterns, and he's the one that made this available to me. And well, of course, I love it. And he's a great guy. If for those who are on the Tubular Lantern group or the Antique Lantern group, the Antique Lantern Collectors group. Always get ahead of myself. Anyways, if you guys are on there on Facebook, definitely keep an eye on the stuff he posts for sale, because he does acquire collections sometimes, and he does liquidate things. Of course, he keeps the things he wants the best or whatever. I mean, we all do. Anyways, so he'll definitely offer cool stuff. And he posts wonderful pictures and wonderful lanterns. And you know, his prices are actually very competitive and very fair. Yeah. So here we go. We were talking about the Marswell stuff. And funny enough, he was telling me that not a lot of people go for the Marswell stuff. I'm like, you kidding me? That sounds weird. So, I don't know. Maybe he's right. I think one like this definitely is appealing. Now, of course, I'm an old-fashioned guy. And social media is a necessary evil for most of us because we either keep in contact with our family or good friends that way. It can be very poisonous to one's psyche and mental health if we allow it. But it's interesting with social media. It is a tool and it can be respected. But what I was going to say is that, some people are all in it for likes. They like to get the dopamine off of the seeing how many people like something or how many people comment on something and how popular their post is. Now, I'm not going to lie, I do enjoy it. It surprises me, I guess, is what I want to say, is it surprises me to see that some people, as many as they will comment or like a picture I share on the Tubular Lantern group. That's cool. Do I live for that? No, I don't. I actually don't. If I post something that gets very little attention, I'm like, well, I like it. Big deal. Whatever. But I was really surprised that the picture I posted this after I restored it and had it burning, I shared on the Tubular group, has received 130 likes. And I'm like, wow, okay. That's a first for me. I think I usually net maybe 30 to 50, maybe 60 positive likes and all that stuff on the Tubular Lantern group when I share a photo of something. This one gained popularity pretty quick. So that's nice. I mean, it feels nice, okay? I'm not going to say, oh, that's, I'm not bragging. I'm not that type to brag, say, well, guess what? That's because I'm a top collector. I know what I'm doing, and this is what I have, and you should worship me. No, not the case at all. I'm just a humble lantern collector who likes a good smoke and likes to burn a lantern. And I like to share my knowledge with all of you guys out there. That really is who I am. I'm not, no. I mean, look at how many videos I have and how, just look at the whole picture. I'm not like, some of the other content providers that are out there all the time making content. That's a full-time job. Good for them. You have my support. You have my kudos. I can't do that. Well, I shouldn't say I can't. I just choose not to because I do have a job that actually makes money. I'm going to be fair. YouTube can make money. People do make money. And that's great. But it's a full-time job. I've talked to other content providers, and they're always making content. And they have no social life. The only social life they have is on social media. And that's really, in my opinion, not a social life. Let's just not waste time with the ones that don't want to strike like that. Now that's a strike anywhere match right there. Oh, should I not waste this? All right. Enough of the gab, Rob. Light your lantern. Yeah, light the lantern. There we go. Here it is. Very nice. Rob, you're a great content provider, but you talk so much. You're probably right. Not that anybody is really thinking that or saying that, but if you do, I don't hold it against you. You're probably right. Anyways, I do appreciate my subscribers. I really do. I love reading comments and answering questions when I can. And since we have a modest subscriber base, which I'm not complaining about, I'm very happy to have the subscribers I do. I'm able to manage it and actually read the comments and leave answers. Yeah. Because if I had over 100,000, 200,000, whatever, it would be very difficult. Be very difficult. So I believe in quality over quantity. I do. So someone was asking, forgive me if I don't remember your name. Well, heck, let's just look. I have my phone. Might as well use it, right? Might as well use it. Let's answer some questions. This will save me time of going to answer it on YouTube. Typing's not my high set here. Anyways. Okay. So this was question posted by Armano, Airmojo, Armajo or Armajo, or I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. I really am. I think I did answer your question. I did answer your question. He's in Ohio. But anyhow, as I was saying, when you asked about the 3-in-1 garage door lubricant. Now what? Sorry. Huh? Well, what I want to say is that when I applied that, I should have had the lantern sitting in the sun. Now, what others have experienced with that, or cleanse oil, other lubricants that they apply to these things, is if they set it in the sun and let it warm up, and that opens up the pores in the metal, and it will darken it. That stuff will darken it. It did get darker, just a little bit. I applied it. I left it on the metal for, I want to say at least half an hour, maybe an hour. And it did darken it. And then when I wiped it all off, and then I buffed it out, and it didn't change, it didn't get lighter. It just got shiny. So if you're going to use that, definitely leave it in the sun. You get better results. It will darken the metal. But, at some time, maybe I'll try it again, because I have plenty of that spray lube stuff anyways. So, yeah, I'll probably try it again later at some point, because these do need to be maintained ever so often. So, the mother's polish does create a bit of a seal, so it keeps it from rusting. But Southern California keeps it from rusting anyways, because it's mostly dry here to begin with. And my lanterns never hang outside, unless they're already rusty. So, I hope that answers your question. I know I answered your question, but I wanted to go in a little more detail. But this thing is just a great lantern. I will say that I am curious about the burner. The regulator wheel is different. I don't think that's the original. I think that's an early replacement. Probably from the turn of the century. It looks like a generic replacement, but I'm not an expert on Marswells or Marswells lanterns. I would assume that it would be a very similar solid metal cog wheel regulator. This is a whole brass. Only the cone is brass, but the burner is brass as well. And I think by this point they were not using brass, because in my Norlay Diamond short globe cold blast with the copper tank, which is the same period as this. They were made about the same time. It has a metal steel burner with the metal cog, solid cog wheel, regulator wheel. Anyways, small, minutia details. But anyways, this might be a little earlier. It does have the earlier stamped cap, brass cap. So yeah, I know the cone is original. I know that for sure. But it's not that important if the burner's original or not. It's beautiful and it works great. So there we go. Another one completed, friends. I know it took me a while to get around to making this video, but it's worth it. Yeah, totally worth it. I think it came out great, and I've been enjoying this lantern quite a bit. Yeah, I can get a good flame out of it, and it makes quite a bit of light. It's very nice and bright. I'd say probably easily 10 plus candle power at max height. Yeah, and this clear globe, I just had it on hand. It came with another clear globe, but it had one of those thick lips. Now I do have two of those. They're #2 cold blast size globes, similar to this, but they have very thick rim on the bottom of it, so it makes the globe stand a little taller. But I do have, I think, a couple that I have to spare. If anyone's interested in just clear cold blast globes for the tall globe stuff like this, let me know. I'd give you a good deal on them, and we can work something out. All right, and I can send you pictures, but of course, as always, our time is short, and we're running out of time, and we will wrap it up now, but thanks again for subscribing. Please like and subscribe if this is your first time seeing the channel, watching a video. Tell your friends who are into antique lanterns or thinking about getting into antique lanterns. I'm happy to have more subscribers and followers and all that jazz. And we'll have more content hopefully by the weekend. I will be making that Halloween content this weekend, and I will be uploading it on Monday on Halloween, so you'll have something to enjoy Halloween night. Okay, that being said, thanks again so much. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.